Welcome to our video all about the moon's phases. In this video, we'll be taking a closer look at the different stages of the moon's cycle and what they mean for us here on Earth. From the familiar full moon to the mysterious new moon, we'll explore the science, folklore, and symbolism behind each phase. So sit back, relax, and let's take a journey through the moon's phases together. Moon phase refers to the appearance of the moon as it orbits the Earth. As the moon travels around our planet, different portions of it are illuminated by the sun, and the portion of the moon that is visible from Earth changes over time. This is what we refer to as moon phase. There are 8 different phases of the moon, starting with the new moon, when the moon is completely invisible, and ending with the full moon, when the entire face of the moon is illuminated. In between these two phases, we have the waxing crescent, first quarter, waxing gibbous, waning gibbous, third quarter, and waning crescent. Let's take a look into each of these phases. Waxing crescent. A waxing crescent is a phase of the moon that occurs in the early stages of the moon's cycle, following the new moon. During this phase, a small sliver of the moon's surface becomes visible from Earth as it slowly begins to move away from the sun. First quarter. The first quarter is a phase of the moon that occurs about a week after the new moon. During this phase, exactly half of the moon's surface is illuminated by the sun and visible from Earth. The first quarter phase is characterized by a half-moon shape, with the illuminated portion on the right side of the moon's disk in the northern hemisphere and on the left side in the southern hemisphere. This phase is often associated with taking action, making decisions, and overcoming obstacles, and is a good time for starting new projects and pursuing goals. Waxing gibbous. Waxing gibbous is a phase of the moon that occurs between the first quarter and full moon phases. During this phase, the illuminated portion of the moon continues to increase, and more than half of the moon's surface becomes visible from Earth. The waxing gibbous phase is characterized by a round, almost full shape, with the illuminated portion on the right side of the moon's disk in the northern hemisphere and on the left side in the southern hemisphere. This phase is often associated with progress, growth, and persistence, and is a good time for making adjustments and fine-tuning plans as we move closer to the full moon phase. Full moon. The full moon is a phase of the moon that occurs when the entire face of the moon is illuminated by the sun and visible from Earth. This phase is characterized by a round, fully illuminated shape, with the moon appearing as a bright, glowing orb in the night sky. The full moon is often associated with heightened emotions, intuition, and creativity, and is a time for celebration, reflection, and releasing anything that no longer serves us. Many cultures and traditions have special names for each full moon throughout the year, such as the harvest moon, the hunter's moon, and the cold moon. Waning gibbous. Waning gibbous is a phase of the moon that occurs between the full moon and third quarter phases. During this phase, the illuminated portion of the moon begins to decrease as it moves towards the third quarter phase. The waning gibbous phase is characterized by a round, almost full shape, with the illuminated portion on the left side of the moon's disk in the northern hemisphere and on the right side in the southern hemisphere. This phase is often associated with gratitude, completion, and reflection, and is a good time for evaluating progress and letting go of anything that no longer serves us as we move towards the next phase of the moon. The third quarter. The third quarter is a phase of the moon that occurs about a week after the full moon. During this phase, exactly half of the moon's surface is illuminated by the sun and visible from Earth, but this time the illuminated portion is on the left side of the moon's disk in the northern hemisphere and on the right side in the southern hemisphere. The third quarter phase is characterized by a half-moon shape, opposite to the first quarter phase. This phase is often associated with releasing, letting go, and finding closure, and is a good time for finishing up any projects or tasks that need completion. It's also a time for reflection and evaluation as we prepare for the next new moon phase. The waning crescent. The waning crescent is the final phase of the moon's cycle before it returns to the new moon phase. During this phase, only a small sliver of the moon's surface is visible from Earth, and the illuminated portion continues to decrease each night until it disappears completely. The waning crescent phase is characterized by a thin, crescent shape on the left side of the moon's disk in the northern hemisphere and on the right side in the southern hemisphere. This phase is often associated with introspection, intuition, and preparation for new beginnings. It's a time for letting go of anything that no longer serves us and setting intentions for the next new moon phase, which marks the beginning of a new lunar cycle. New moon. New moon is the lunar phase where the moon is not visible from Earth because it is positioned between the Earth and the Sun, causing the illuminated side to face away from us. During this phase, the moon's gravitational pull is aligned with that of the Sun, resulting in higher tides. It marks the beginning of a new lunar cycle and is associated with new beginnings, fresh starts, and setting intentions. It's a great time to reflect on your goals and plant the seeds for new projects or ideas. Now let's take a look at some cool facts about phases of the moon. Number 1. The phase of the moon at the time of a person's birth is believed by some to have an influence on their personality and future. Number 2. The phases of the moon can also affect human behavior, with some people reporting feeling more energetic or creative during the full moon, while others may experience sleep disturbances or mood changes. Number 3. In some cultures, certain phases of the moon are associated with specific rituals or practices, such as the full moon being associated with fertility or harvests. Number 4. The moon's phases are not visible from all parts of the world at the same time. This is because of the curvature of the Earth and the angle at which the sun's light hits the moon. Number 5. The phases of the moon can have an effect on certain animals and plants, such as causing some species of fish to spawn or causing plants to grow at different rates. And that's it for our fun facts about the phases of the moon. From the new moon to the full moon and everything in between, these lunar phases have fascinated humans for centuries. Whether you're a scientist, astronomer, or just someone who appreciates the beauty of the night sky, there's no denying the importance of the moon and its many phases. We hope you enjoyed learning more about the phases of the moon and that you'll join us for our next video exploring the wonders of the universe. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. And if you have any ideas for future videos, let us know in the comments.